Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Just a quick one for you tonight, as obviously there's a couple of big things to talk about today on this Monday. Happy Monday, people. It's a lovely, glorious day. The sun is still shining even at 8 o'clock at night. It's warm. I'm loving it. Big fan of the summer and big fan of the summer transfer window. And Newcastle United have kicked things off with their first signing of the window. 18 years old, Gambian forward Yankuba Minteh. I'm absolutely gutted that it's not pronounced Minteh, because obviously it looks like it's going to be Minteh or Minty. Oh man, we could have been playing on that. I was a big fan of that Minteh, but now Minteh is what it is. Sky Sports News are officially saying that's how you pronounce it. However you pronounce it though, it looks like Newcastle United have signed a little wonder kid, a little gem from Gambia now. The young'un, I'll read it out a proper statement soon, only 18 years old, officially announced tonight. There was a rumour a week or two ago, Fabrizio Romano broke it again. Sky Sports and Newcastle United have confirmed it this evening, and it's all done. Medical done, posed in the shirt, signed, sealed, delivered. He's ours. So look at it now. He was signed from Danish Sign Ballklub, where he had his breakthrough season last year. 17 appearances in the Danish Superliga, scoring 4 goals and 6 assists. So obviously everyone's got to be hot on this. You've got to pick them up soon. And I think it's £7-8 million already just for one season in the Danish league. One season like that, and you're getting that much money handed your way, considering I think when you're my age and I'm not old by the way, but when you're used to the old transfer fees of 20 million, you had 25 million, you had being loads, and now 40-50 million is just brand about like now it's the matter. 7-8 million back in the day used to get you the best around, and I think it's still stuck in that frame of 7-8 million, wow, for an 18-year-old kid who's only played a few times in Denmark, But I tell you what, he's obviously very highly rated. Let's not pretend that anyone's ever seen him play, because they haven't. Nobody here is, unless you're from Denmark, you are not watching the Danish Superliga. If you're hot, you've got too much time on your hands. I tell you that, I wish I had enough time to be watching Danish Superliga. These days, I'm lucky if I catch match of the day, right? But I think he obviously is very highly rated, and this stinks of Dan Ashworth. We'll read out what Dan Ashworth has said in a minute, but this is a proper Dan Ashworth signing, and I'm very happy with it because I've looked at what Dan Ashworth's done at Brighton. The amount of players he's brought through the door who were nobodies for a few million quid, and now he's turned them into top-class players. Obviously, the coach and everything at Brighton, the way they've developed, but you could name loads of them at Brighton who nobody'd ever heard of. They plucked them from Africa, from South America, from all over, and now the really, really top-class established Premier League players. Hopefully Yankuba can be the same as that. That's the aim. He will go straight out on loan as well. He's going to go straight out on loan to Feyenoord. So that's a big move for him. I'm pleased about that. That's a lot better. That's testing, in the Dutch league, the decent side Feyenoord. And they will be in Champions League, just like us. So, I think that's a solid move for us. I'm really excited about it. Signing young, talented, prospective players. Obviously, Grant Kowal didn't quite work out, but that was his loan spell. I think he needs to go somewhere else instead of Scotland. But if he can get going, he's obviously highly rated, playing the World Cup, and so is Yankuba. So I'm pleased with it. Listen, a young star on the books, let him go out and have a good loan spell in a decent league, bring him back, progress his career, because this is what you've got to be looking at. It's all good and well going and spending 60 million on an Isaac and this, that and the other, and a Madison 50 million, but you need players for the future, because that's how you fight off FFP as well. If you can bring in a player for a few million, progress them through. Obviously academy local is ideal, but if you do it this way, at least you're saving a lot, because 7 million in this day and age is nothing. So let's just quickly see what Newcastle have said about it. The promising attacker will officially complete his move to the Magpies on the 1st of July before immediately joining Dutch champions Feyenoord. A highly coveted prospect, Minteh has already made 17 senior appearances, scoring 4 goals, 6 assists, as I said before. This is what Ashworth has said on it. We are very pleased to be bringing a player with Yankuba's high potential to Newcastle United. See, he wanted to say Mint as well, but he wasn't allowed. He has done extremely well in his first season in Denmark, and he has a promising career ahead of him. We look forward to working with him in this exciting phase of his development, and we're excited to see how he performs at Feyenoord, a club that also has a strong development record of its own. As well, I think it's a great league to go to be honest, the Dutch league for development. You've seen so many rising young stars, haven't you, from Holland, so I'm pleased with that. I think that's a solid move, better than bloody rainy Scotland where he's not going to get picked. As well as supporting the first team with players for the here and now, we have a clear philosophy to invest in emerging talent, and we want to provide a player pathway to help build and sustain long-term success. And that is a way of doing it. Listen, that is a really solid way of doing it, and that's what I mentioned before. You've got to think long term. Like I said, it's not just who can we bring in now for the Champions League. We want Yankuba to be here playing in the Champions League in 3, 4, 5 years time for us and be ready made to come back and play. So it makes sense. That's my thoughts on him. Exciting young signing. Good to get the first one through the door. Obviously he's not going to be involved in the first team, so when you get down to business properly, obviously Madison links are not going anywhere. They're hotting up. I said when I recorded the video on Friday, released it Sunday, saying that we were going to take an offer for Madison soon, that we were leading the race. That's now officially on Sky, so you expect a bid to probably go in the next few days for him. Maybe he's on England duty with Agent Wilson. But what I want to touch on quickly before we finish things off is all this controversy about the stitching on Newcastle United's new home kit. Now, people are whinging, saying it's 2 T's and it looks crap and it's dodgy work from Castore. I'm not really having it. I think people are just love to complain about absolutely nout. Yes, granted, does it look spot on? Probably not. Could it look better? Yeah, if we're going to be picky, we could have the eye there, especially in it. But how, man? You have to look closer. You have to be that bothered about an eye joining a T. I mean, really? Is that what's going on in the world, that you're that arsed about an eye joining a T? For me, the strip's lush, the sponsor's great, the design's great, the material's good, I bought it, I love it. I'm not going to be whinging about a tiny little ink that's dotted at the T. I've seen it loads. Look, I'll put the image on the screen. This is my Saudi kit from last year. Where was the outcry last year? Newcastle Saudi kit. It's got joint letters. No outcry there, was there? So what were we whinging for now? I've even put a photo when I was going for my retro collections. I have to say some of them from the 90s are in particularly better, where they are spaced out. And in an ideal world, yes, space them out. But everyone was whinging about bringing back embroidered badges, no more patchy sticker badges, and they bring them back and they have to be detailed. And I do get it, it is expensive. Listen, I've paid £78 for mine because I've got the Champions League badge on it today as well, so that's £78 on a kit. So to be fair, I can understand people crying and whinging, saying that, they want perfection for that much. That's understandable. It's not like it's a 30, 40 quid shirt anymore. So I get that, but at the same time, I just think I try to lean on the positive side of things now in life. All right, I used to be a whinger, complainer, probably still am at times, but I'm not going to complain about this. You know what I mean? For me, it's not a big deal. And like I said, I looked at the 2006 kit in my retro collection, and that's very similar with the I and the T joined so closely together. So for me, I'm not really that fussed. Give me a tiny little bit of ink in the I and the T dotted together if the kit's going to look that good. If the kit was crap, then I'd make a big video about saying the design's crap, the quality's crap, the stitching's crap, everything's crap. But the sun's shining, I'm trying to be in a good mood. And for me, I don't really get this whole outrage over it, to be honest with you. I think it's not the end of the world. And I'm not that bothered by it. Like I said, if you want to be picky, yes, it would be perfect, but I think the amount of people that were there the other day buying the shirt, did they care? Did they notice? We had enough time. We stood in the queue for 2 hours. You had enough time to look at it and think, oh, fuck, now that INT. But someone will point it out on Twitter and then run with it, and then everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon. Bollocks, man. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And I tell you what, I was in there the day again, waited again for the Champions League badge. I actually had to go back twice. I went at lunchtime, and it was like a 2-hour wait. And I was like, I'm not doing this again. And then I went back in the afternoon, and I waited about half an hour just for the personalisation station, just to get the Champions League badge on it. So there it is, something interesting on that personalisation station. Long word that they've picked for that, where they do the numbers and letters and the Champions League badges. That's what the club shop are calling it, by the way, not me. Is there going to be a special Champions League font for this year? We've seen it across the board with other clubs, like Man City had a nice one, I think, with the timer for their Champions League badge last season, Champions League numbers and letters, sorry. And Newcastle United had a thing out today saying the Champions League font is still awaiting approval by UEFA, so we will be having a different, unique style font instead of the Premier League red one on our Champions League kit. So I'm looking forward to that, very much looking forward to seeing that, depending on what the design is. For me, they've got to go 90s retro, they've got to go 90s retro classic on this one and get that in there, but we'll wait and see on that. That'll do for this video. Let's wrap things up. Drop your comments below what you thought of the signing, of the kit, everything else. Subscribe to my channel TV, and I'll see you on the next one.